up, one? It's your boy BFS, and this is the Business Financial Strategy channel. And today, we're going to discuss everything that we saw in the market dealing with, of course, Tesla, Microsoft, and Comcast. So as we all know, in the video I said all three of them I thought could report and surprise. Well, Microsoft really wasn't surprised, but they were just continuing on what they've been continuing doing. To see something out of Tesla, and we actually saw that in the earnings report. Even though they missed, we saw that the actual stock went higher. And then with Comcast, they beat, and we saw the actual stock move lower. And then with Microsoft, we saw them beat and move higher. So they all, have their own thing of doing. Like I said in the short earlier, there's no way to decide and know if a stock is going to do anything. Like I said, they can beat and move lower, they can miss and move higher, or they can beat and move higher. You just don't know. So I would have to ask you, what do you think about Microsoft's move, seeing that they actually are the one company that did what they're supposed to do? They beat and moved higher.
Yeah, Microsoft is a beast. I mean, they've made a lot of investments in AI, and cloud, of course, is growing like crazy. Azure, they said that the demand for AI, generative AI, is still higher than the supply, right? So they're still buying these NVIDIA graphics chips and trying to build out infrastructure as much as possible. So demand is still outstripping supply when it comes to AI, and that's going to be a multi-year investment. They have this new AI system called Copilot, which integrates with Teams and Outlook and all of their other platforms and apps. So people are adopting that. But yeah, Microsoft is a beast, and Google, its counterpart, they moved higher because they announced the dividend for the first time ever and the stock buyback. Now, every company has this one-time, make the stock go up lever, which is to announce a dividend. As soon as a company does that, the stock goes up every time. So they use their once-in-a-lifetime move. It's almost like a get-out-of-jail-free card. If they didn't announce that, I think it would have probably went down, to be honest with you, because it was so high. And that's what you see a lot of times with these earnings. You mentioned Tesla and Comcast. It's not about beating the numbers necessarily. A lot of times it's where your stock price is at going into the earnings. Tesla was going in, year to date, they were down 40%, right? So it didn't matter really what they reported. It was going to pop up, So that's kind of like the story there. You never really know, but going into the earnings, where the stock is at is important.
Okay. Yeah, I would also like to add to what you said about the dividend. If you have the buybacks, that can make the stock go higher when a company announces that they're going to be buying their shares back, which is going to push the price higher as well. And then as far as Comcast, I would have to say one of the few companies that actually reported and actually dropped. There's some other companies that we can speak about that I've seen recently that did that. But I would have to say, man, what do you think it's going to take to get Comcast to be a $45, $50 stock again?
Yeah, man, Comcast is one of those legacy companies. I mean, they're a big company. They generate a lot of revenue, but every stock goes through their life cycle, right? So when they first IPO, it's a growth company, and it's all about user acquisition and revenue growth. Once a company gets to a certain size, eventually the growth stops, and then all they can really do is offer a dividend, which is what you just saw Google do. Google is now going to move from double-digit growth to single-digit growth. That's why they have to offer a dividend to keep investors attracted and stay with the stock. Comcast already offers a dividend, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, that's where the stock is at. The growth is over. So, it's still going to be there due to inflation, but the growth phase of the stock is over. So, the only way it's going to move from a $40 to $50 stock is if it makes acquisitions of smaller companies, which I don't know what it could do. I mean, it's a media company, so it could acquire more media, like it could maybe. The days of buying Netflix are gone because Netflix is too big. I mean, they could.
What about Elon Musk's Starlink? Because if you think about how Google is supposed to be working with Elon Musk with this, and Google just has so many things. I mean, Google owning YouTube, and that's like the number one platform that people go to learn about, you know, things. And you just think about everything that competes with Comcast on this major scale, and we know that they broadcast, they're like the number one broadcaster. And I think as far as on the internet side, the broadband side, I think having a company like Starlink from Elon Musk to be able to use internet anywhere, you know, be in the woods in the middle of nowhere and be able to make contact if you needed to, for whatever reason, if you were stranded or whatever, you know, to have service to be able to reach people. I think that could be life-saving. I think that could actually help out in the medical sector as well. I think if something like Starlink took off, you know, with Elon Musk, and like I said, even if Comcast was to buy them, it would just become, I think, even better with the hardware and the assets and resources that they have. But something like that could be it could be life-changing for the medical sector, for them to be able to go into the mountains and find somebody, you know, with some, you know, with cellular data that normally they would have never had in situations, or underground or something like that, or in still cases or tombs in the Middle East, in Egypt or something. That's something to pay attention to.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that, because that's the perfect type of business for Comcast to start or acquire in order for them to get that next leg of growth, right? Because there's a huge swath of the world's population that doesn't live in a city, so they don't have access to fiber. And their only option is satellite internet. And satellite internet is still fast. Elon said less than 20 millisecond lag. That's crazy for satellite internet, right? Yeah. That being said, he's not gonna sell Starlink. So sorry about that, man. Because, you know, that business is funding the Starship program, and Starship is what's gonna colonize Mars and all these other crazy things he has in mind, right? But Comcast could don't forget, SpaceX is a rocket company, and they rent these rockets out to other companies who want to send satellites of their own, right? Yeah. So Comcast could very easily say, hey, you know what, we need this additional leg of growth, so we're going to invest in our own satellite internet division, yeah, or division or company, whatever you want to call it. And that would take the stock from 40 to 50 very quickly, right? Because the market is going to see that and say, hey, that's another billion customers that we're not going to have, that now we are going to have, because we have satellite internet. But honestly, man, as soon as Starlink IPOs, if I was a Comcast owner, I would switch my money from that to Starlink. Starlink is going to have that leg of growth, man. I'm sorry, but Comcast is good for keeping your money, but man, if you want to grow your wealth, you need the growth companies, man.
All right, man. So you heard it first from JG. When Starlink IPOs, man, take your house, refinance the mortgage, and put it all into Starlink.
Yeah, don't do that.
But yeah. So as far as these three companies, man, I didn't want to get on here too long, man. We just wanted to get on here and let you guys know about the three companies and what we thought about them, how they will perform. And something to look forward to, man. So hopefully all three of them, you know, Tesla continues to move higher with Elon Musk. I think what he said, he was going to cut prices on cars and get more sales.
Well, the big thing is the new lower priced vehicle, right? So right now he's getting killed in China because China can make electric vehicles for less than 20,000. The cheapest one right now for Tesla is 40 grand, right? So this next platform that he's building is going to be a factory in Mexico, is what it looks like, just outside the Texas border, very close to Austin. They're going to produce the low-cost vehicle, and that's what's going to be the next leg of growth for Tesla, is this lower-priced vehicle that everybody can afford. Well, I know right now there's an EV credit that's $7,500. You get that taken off at the point of sale, but that's gonna make it, you know, like $7,000 cheaper. It's still a $40,000 car, you know. So you either got it or you don't, you know. But the auto industry is struggling right now because of rates. I mean, it's purchasing cars and purchasing houses is not happening right now, because for the most qualified buyer, you're looking at 7 to 8%. That's a lot of interest, man. So until the rates loosen up, cars and houses are not really gonna move that much. Yeah.
And that brings me to probably one of my last points. With interest rates moving higher, will we ever get a rate cut in 2024?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a cut, but I mean, it's going to happen eventually. They can't keep it at this level forever, and then we'll see what happens with the election and everything. I saw this morning, Trump is drafting a proposal to make the Federal Reserve part of the government. So he would essentially have control over the Federal Reserve. That means if he gets in, he's gonna drive rates straight down to zero. That's gonna be one of the most bullish catalysts you can ever think of, to go from a four handle to zero. It's not done. It's not a done deal, but rates will go back down eventually. Well, we just don't know when they're gonna cut them.
I would also say that with this new package, I think it's a $90 billion deal that they're trying to get passed or whatever in the Senate and House and everything, which would stimulate the economy. But at the same time, I don't know if what type of effect that would have on gold and crypto. So we just have to wait and see. When this deal gets done, gold and crypto will spike. It's gonna go crazy. But we just don't know when that deal is gonna come through for the government. But when that deal gets done, that's gonna spike everything. And then definitely when they finally cut rates, that's gonna spike as well and make things go even crazier. But yeah, in the meantime, man, expect gold and crypto to move higher, along with stocks as well. But yeah, definitely check out gold and crypto, because once this bill gets through, this stimulus $90 billion package goes through, we will be in for the ride of our lives. For those who planted seeds and made investments, if you're not invested in anything, I would encourage you to download Webull or to set you up a profile on Investopedia. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I want you guys to check out Investopedia. For those who don't have any real money, you can create you an account on Investopedia for free. They'll give you an instant $100,000, and you can take this money and you can invest it into whatever stocks, and you can do options or whatever you want with it. That way you can follow along, but invest in something, because the market, like I said, is going to go crazy. As soon as this bill goes through, expect all stocks to move higher. Expect Comcast to move higher. Expect Tesla to move higher. Expect Microsoft. Expect all these companies. Expect crypto to move higher. So I really expect everything to move higher. We're pretty much at the bottom, where we had this pullback that we've been dealing with for the last 3-4 weeks. We're at the bottom of this. So look at something to invest in, people, man. All right, there you have it, folks. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Riches.